The first topic in Chapter 3 is margins. So I wanted to have a brief tutorial to show you how to change your margins and the easiest way to work with margins in your document. The margin is defined as the white space around the edge of the page. So if you look at your paper, you can see around the edge of your page you have the white space. And that's the definition of your margin. Now, the larger your margins are, the less text you have on your page. So if you have really tiny margins, you're going to have more words and text that fit on the page, as opposed to a large margin is less text. So how do you set your margins? You go to the Page Layout tab, and you click your margin drop down, and there's several presets here. You've got normal, narrow, moderate, wide, mirrored, and Office 2003 default. Or you go down to custom, and you can see that the default is 1 inch all around, left, right, top, and bottom. And if I want to change the margins to something special, like maybe I want a different left and versus a right, you can enter that right here using these little toggle buttons. Or if you want to change your margins a little more advanced way, you can use your ruler. If you don't see your ruler, you go over here to your View Ruler toggle button. Now it's gone, and you click it again to have it reappear. You can tell where the margin is on your ruler because the margin area is a darker color than the place on your document where you can place text and images. So your margin, where the dark part meets the light, that is where your margin is. So if you wanted to change it without using the Page Layout tab, you hover over the place where the dark part of your ruler meets the light part, and your cursor becomes a left and right pointed arrow. If I hold down my mouse, click and drag in, I have just changed my margin about 1/2 inch. If I want to actually see in inches what I'm making my margin, I hold down the Alt key while I'm doing that, and you can see it says 1.5. Maybe I want to bring it in another 1/2 inch even, and now it's 2 inches. To do this on the left side, it's a little trickier because you have these little triangles and square, which we're going to get to a little bit later. But if you hover over where that dark part of your ruler meets the light, you get that left and right pointing arrow or cursor. Hold down the Alt key, and I'm going to bring it in to about 2 inches. Okay, so you see that my text changed with the margins, because when you set your margins, it affects your whole document. Now, I can do that on the top and bottom margin as well. If I hover over where the dark part meets the light part of my ruler, I get an up and down pointing arrow, and I can just click and hold down and drag. I'll just drag it another 1/2 inch or so. Alright, so what we've covered in this little tutorial is that the margins are the white space around the edge of your pages. You can change them on the Page Layout tab, or you can drag on your ruler to change your margins. So that is it until the next tutorial.